if I told you that in a year, you'll be lying by a swimming pool...
Welcome under the dome. An amazing excursion to a world of new technology.
You see a tall scientist in a white lab coat, bathed in the dim lamplight. He almost appears to be hovering above the laboratory floor. The man turns at your footsteps. He's holding a paper clipboard and a pencil. His shimmering silver badge reads Sebastian Van Olden. He glances from you to the glittering watch on his wrist.
I want us to respect one another's time. Please speak loudly, clearly, and to the point. You must be the newcomer I was told about. Nice to meet you.
Finished with his unusual greeting, he offers you his thin hand. The scientist puts the clipboard aside, raises his watch for a closer look, and sets the timer. He shows you his watch dial.
According to the rules of this briefing, I have to touch on a large number of topics. Therefore, I will do so very briefly. Do not interrupt me. When I'm finished, I'll answer your questions. Within regulations, of course.
Sebastian produces his handheld and clicks some buttons.
I checked your scanner. It's working and is connected to the Minerva database. Everything you scan will earn you Kronos or Forefathers knowledge points.
The instructor watches you with displeasure.
Are you listening? Scan everything that might be of scientific interest. First of all, anomalies. They could be dangerous. Make sure to always have medication with you.
He places a canvas pouch in your hand.
This pouch is full of bolts. You can temporarily discharge an anomaly by throwing a bolt into it. It's primitive, but reliable.
Van Olden pushes a button on his stopwatch.
So, my oral briefing fell within the allotted span of time. Any questions you want to ask me?
Sebastian snorts skeptically.
Oh, great. You're even ignorant of the basics. Minerva is a mainframe located at Magellan Base, where you'll be going soon, by the way. The Minerva disk stores the database containing every piece of information about the Dome and the company's employees. It is thanks to this scanning that the database is constantly updated. Are you ready for the second part of the briefing, or do you have any more questions?
The instructor looks at his chronometer again. The white scowls in annoyance.
Do you know anything at all? What did you come under the Dome for anyway? You get knowledge points for scanning objects. For scanning anomalies and relics, you receive Forefather points. Scanning the company's property and employees, living or dead, earns you Kronos knowledge points.
He explains with a sagacious expression.
You can exchange knowledge points for medication and equipment as part of the volunteer research program. Are you ready for the next part? The clock is ticking.
The instructor taps his watch meaningfully. Sebastian pulls a scanner from his pocket.
I will demonstrate this only once. To switch on the scanner, press the button on the right side of the manipulator housing. The scanning beam is narrow. It's intended to focus on one object at a time.
Van Olden turns on the scanner and continues.
My advice is to scan anything that might be of scientific or statistical interest. Relics, Forefathers objects, automatic doors, vehicles, vending machines, deceased employees.
He turns the screen so you can see it.
The scanner automatically transmits data to the Minerva system, and you receive knowledge points. Do you have any questions, or can we proceed to the practical part of our briefing?
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully.
You'll need some one-use stimulator injectors, bandages to stop bleeding, and anti-radiation agents and radio protectors, including ARAD-3.
The white ticks these off on his fingers. He produces a black-capped, transparent plastic jar out of his pocket.
According to protocol, you should have this medicine. I'll give it to you as soon as we proceed to the practical part of the briefing. Are you ready, by the way, or do you have any questions?
The researcher winces.
Why do I have to spell out every single thing for you? Take a bolt, throw it at the anomaly, and it goes off. Any more questions?
The scientist glances at his watch again.
You're within the time limit for questions. The next step is training in the artificial ecozone.
He rests one finger on the button in preparation to start the timer.
You're going to go downstairs and scan relics. I will be monitoring your progress. Please note there are several radioactive anomalies in the ecozone. These are the same conditions you'll be working in the field. Radioactive zones and relics are quite common under the Dome.
He smoothly extracts a jar of yellow pills from his pocket.
Here's your Arad 3. And one more thing. Just a moment.
Please stand by for decontamination to end. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the dome from the inside.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to a world of new technology and the riddles of an ancient civilization. Listen to this.
Glad to meet you.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Bye-bye.
Van Olden gestures back at the ecozone.
You haven't completed scanning everything yet. Finish the task first.
Dome from the inside. With me, Victoria LeGrand. As you can see.
Be careful around the anomalies. Touch one of them and you'll be injured. Toss a bolt at the anomaly to discharge it. Don't touch the relics with your hands, employee. Use your scanner. Radiation sickness will not add to your knowledge.
Van Olden gestures back at the ecozone.
You haven't completed.
About you, but I'm sure I'll come here in a year.
Journal entry. 2 objects scanned. And again, watch out for anomalies. Touch one and you'll be injured. Possible anomaly. Journal entry. All 3 objects have been successfully scanned. Upstairs.
Sebastian meets you on the platform.
Your finishing time is within the acceptable range.
He clicks the stopwatch button, fixing the result time. The scientist turns back to his notes.
Not bad. One question. You observed several anomalies while scanning. Why do you think they appeared? I'd like to hear your opinion.
The scientist assumes a superior expression.
I knew you'd come up with something like that. I see you understand nothing about the nature of anomalies. So let me add a couple of points.
He glances at the shimmering blue light in the ecozone.
The truth is, we don't know the precise reason for these phenomenon either. We actually know nothing, no matter how much we try to convince ourselves otherwise.
Sebastian points a thin finger at the clustered lightning.
I personally believe that the anomalies are the dome's security mechanism. The ones you saw are relatively harmless, but there are different anomalies in the desert, phenomenon that toy with the human mind.
Van Olden clasps his hands behind his back.
I know you don't care, but I'll say it anyway. Scientists today are required to be wonder workers who can heal cancer with a wave of their hand and solve the secrets of the universe during their coffee break. For some reason, no one wants to understand that fundamental science is always an investment in the future. It produces no answers here and now.
The White's gaze strays back to his clipboard.
If something terrible happens under the dome one day, and I'm sure it will, science will protect no one. That is all. Off you go.
And I fully agree with you.
Welcome under the dome, an amazing excursion to
Please stand by for decontamination to end. Casinos and therapeutic saunas. I don't know about you, but I'm sure I'll come here in a year and will feel like a